Hey everyone. All right, tonight we've got the full moon happening in Gemini, okay? And this is really starting off the month. That's ultimately a lot less intense with energy than the last few months, okay? So we're kind of starting tonight with like a bright flash in the mental field where conversations are going to start speeding up. Information's going to start spiking and the inner narratives are going to start surfacing. And so it's kind of like a heightening contrast right now. You know, what's noise becomes more obvious. What's signal gets a little bit louder. And since it's at the bends, which is where the lunar nodes are squaring it, making a grand cross with the moon and the moon and the sun opposition. So it's adding a little bit of a karmic turning point to this full moon, forcing releasing of old patterns, crises of choice between like your past habits and your fated growth. So if you're feeling that mental buzz or a pull to let go of things, that's why, okay? And all of this for December is tying perfectly into the December field report on the cosmic energies from the preview edition of my new resonance papers, which is going to be a monthly newsletter that's analog. So it's actually going to come to your door and you get to hold it. All right, so I'm going to come from that newsletter and what I wrote in there for a little bit about what's going on in December. Okay, so like I said, the month feels a little bit easier on the energy than the previous ones. Okay, we got less retrogrades piling up, but there's still kind of a lot brewing under the surface. All right, it's like there's two halves to December. Okay, early December is going to be soft and psychic and dissolving, and then the mid to late is going to be more sorting, stabilizing, constructing. Okay, why? Well, okay, so Neptune rules the first half. Okay, with its fog and intuition, because it's starting to station and go direct. And then while in the last part, Capricorn kind of takes over the later month, okay, with bringing precision and form, because the sun and then Mars, which is going to be exalted in Capricorn, and Venus are going to shift in. So we're going to see sharpening actions, strengthening identity, solidifying values. All right, so let's kind of break it down, starting with the key tensions. All right, we're going to have a Mars-Saturn square and Neptune going direct. Okay, so basically, we're being pushed forward now that Saturn and Mercury have gone direct at the end of November. So basically, communication accelerates. Saturn adds some seriousness to everything. But really the main tension is going to be Mars and Sagittarius squaring Saturn and Pisces around December 10th and 11th. That subtle friction of wanting momentum but sensing invisible limits of Saturn, it's going to be intense. And in Jupiter-ruled signs, so Sagittarius and Pisces are both ruled by Jupiter, okay? And Jupiter's over there in Cancer, exalted. So it's going to, all of this Mars aggression and impatience and frustration being pushed like on the gas pedal, and Saturn's the brake pedal going, look, I'm just started going forward. You want me to do what? Okay. Well, Jupiter's trining Saturn, okay, consistently right now. And so that's going to soften this transit a little bit, add a little harmony, smoothing some emotional truth to this transit. All right. So that's going to help. And then we're going to have Neptune stationing direct right around the same time, okay? So the fog thickens briefly a bit when it stations, but then clarity starts breaking and opening up. And this is going to amplify the psychic hinge for us, right? So our illusions start dissolving, our intuition's tuning in, all right? So together, these two calibrations, Mars-Saturn frustrates these false efforts we've got. Neptune going direct is going to clear deceptions up, hallucinations even, and it's going to urge more emotional integrity. So the role of December isn't really action, it's more orientation. Okay, so easier overall, but with these undercurrents kind of refining us for February's ignition. So in the newsletter, I'm using I'm calling the resonance index, okay? And I'm quantifying by 3 scores how the month is going to go. So the first score is coherence, and I'm giving that a 5.8 out of 10. So it's partial growing coherence, right? So we got Neptune direct, which brings some haze, so it brings coherence down. Jupiter smooths things, so it's smoothing like truth. So that's kind of bringing up coherence. And then Saturn plus Capricorn, all the structures that are happening in Capricorn is bringing coherence up. All right. The full moon kind of overloads a little bit in the beginning, so that brings it a tad down. The Mars Saturn adds a little friction, so that brings it down, but it's going to strengthen later, right? So front end, dissolving energy, the back end of December, firming up of energy. Okay. And the clarity is going to come in waves throughout the month. Then we have acceleration, which I'm giving a 6.6. So this is kind of like a moderate high, moderate more. The exalted Mars and Capricorn is really kicking up momentum and acceleration. The Sun and Venus joining up for force there is also bringing it up. The Mercury is going to cut friction up as well by its moving really fast through Sagittarius. The Neptune's going to diffuse it down. Saturn's going to keep it capped, keeping it down. So really the peaks of the acceleration is the second half of the month. So actions matter. There's early delay, but that's going to actually protect your later precision. All right. Then the last score is divergence. That's a 6.2. So it's kind of like at a present level. The full moon kind of amplifies narratives up. Neptune distorts up. Capricorn, with all the focus coming down, is going to bring down. Okay. Jupiter's going to deepen feelings for like internal stuff and splits in internal feelings. So that's kind of bringing that up. And then Mars, Saturn, that heightens clashes. So that brings up this score as well. So there's a lot more internal divergence going on individually, some external divergence more on the global scale. So it's a lot of feeling versus thinking energy. All right. So things shift really in the latter half. As the sun goes into Capricorn on December 21st, which is the winter solstice, we have exalted Mars in Capricorn around December 15th or so. That kind of brings more of an efficient drive. And then, of course, Venus coming into Capricorn. It's going to help, a little bit with pivoting some of this energy to more of like a grounded, active Capricorn energy that really kind of pivots to sharpen your effort, embodying competence, turning intentions more to like structure in the world. We're going to have a new moon on the 19th that resets purpose amid this grounding. Okay. And that's really about it. I mean, there's some trines here and there that are going to happen with Mercury, Uranus. There's going to be an opposition with Uranus and Mercury. But again, I'm bringing up the things that I think matter overall. Okay. So in summary, the fog lifts slowly. The ground firms quickly, and we now kind of continue prepping for this ignition in February. All right. Okay. So if this resonated, grab the free digital preview of the rest of this newsletter and the more details that are in it on my website at metaphysicaladvisor.com. And then if you like it, make sure to subscribe as soon as possible for the analog edition starting in January. Okay. And this is mailed to you. All right. Now stay resonant. Okay, let me know. Are you feeling any of these shifts? Comment in the comments. And if you are wanting more personal perspectives to your personal astrology chart, you can book a session with me on my website. And the link is in my profile description. All right, thanks for watching.